Check it.
Hey, good morning, everybody. How are you this morning? I'm the host of this little Be Encouraged show, and we hope we can encourage you this fine morning. It is 10:30 a.m. and, 10:31. Okay, let's be specific. We'll reach up here on the shelf. We'll pull out what we always do, and that is the little book of wisdom. See? Little book of wisdom. And we'll flip through it, find a place to stop. Let's read you a little bit longer one. This one's from Norman Mailer, and y'all mostly know him. Growth is a greater mystery than death. I don't need these. I don't know why I'm wearing them. Because it's just you and me today, guys. Love to get your comments, find out what you're thinking. All right, let me start that over again. Norman Mailer. Growth is a greater mystery than death. All of us can understand failure. We all contain failure and death within us, but not even the successful man can begin to describe the impalpable elations and apprehensions of growth. Norman Mailer. That was good. I like that one. Here we go. It is better to be boldly decisive and risk being wrong than to agonize at length and be right too late. That's Marilyn Motes Kennedy. Well, let's try this one too. I'll give you 3 of them today since it's just you guys and me. Here is the test to find whether your mission on Earth is finished. If you're alive, it isn't. Of course. All right, folks. So what we got is today we're going to be talking about a couple different things. One of the things we're going to get some comments over here, Tora and Susan Woodward. Hello, Susan Woodward. How are you today, dear? Let me see here. So Meg Southern said, did Ashray say he made the actual shield on the 3D printer? No, the shield itself, no, but the headband that the shield is attached to is what he made. And the shields you can buy by the roll at, I don't know where exactly, but you can get them usually maybe craft stores or something like that. Derek Welch, good morning to you, brother. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. Let me talk to you guys today about a couple things that have been going on. First of all, the first U.S. woman to walk in space has now walked on the deepest known point in the ocean. I don't know about walked, but has reached there. Her name is Kathy Sullivan, and she's a NASA astronaut who 36 years ago became the first American woman to walk in space, and has now become the first woman to reach the deepest known spot in the ocean. On Sunday, Dr. Sullivan, 68, an astronaut and oceanographer, emerged from, let's see here. So she spent about an hour and a half at their destination, nearly 7 miles down in the muddy depression in the Mariana Trench, which is located 200 miles southwest of Guam. After capturing images from the limiting factor, a specially designed deep sea research submersible, they began the roughly 4-hour ascent. So it took them 4 hours to get up from there. Wow, that is amazing. In fact, that was that's a cool little story. And thank you for Kathy Sullivan. We honor her today about that. The other thing that was also in the news today, from May 25th, last month, we shared the story of Captain Tom Moore, a 99-year-old veteran who raised over 32 million pounds for NHS charities by walking laps in his garden. Moore's goal was to walk 100. His goal was to walk 100 laps for his 100th birthday at the end of April. Not only did he achieve this, but he has also been awarded a special nomination for the knighthood by Prime Minister Boris Johnson, which has already approved by Queen Elizabeth II. Very cool. So go, Mr. Moore, Captain Tom Moore, 100 years old. That's encouraging, folks, I think. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty encouraged by that. Tony Dean, how are you, sir? It is the beard of knowledge, as a matter of fact. Thank you very much. I appreciate you tuning in, Tony. Appreciate you tuning in, Derek, Susan, Meg, Tora. You guys are something. Nicole, hi, good morning, and happy Thursday to you, Nicole. Thanks for tuning in and watching today. What other kind of fun stuff can we give you that's going to be encouraging and uplifting to you? Well, there's lots of different things, all on the internet, as a matter of fact. If you have the time and take the time, you can go on the internet and find all kinds of encouraging things that might really make you feel like you have something to do in this world. So one of the things that I've recently did, I made a post and I said, I support BLM, Black Lives Matter. I do support Black Lives Matter, and let's delve into this a little bit. The reason why I support is because people of color have truly been, first word that popped in my head was ostracized, and they've been kept out of the success loop in many cases. They've also been kicked out of the ability to make something of themselves because too many people are saying no. And if we all know that when you get told no, that negativity really resounds inside your heart and makes it hard for you to move forward. And so basically what we need to do is we need to start saying yes. We need to start making room. And, people say, well, I always hire the best candidate. Well, that's great, but if you got 2 candidates, you want to diversify, basically. I think every company ought to have a certain diversity factor in their in what they're doing. So that's what I think anyway. And I hope that the phone gets answered here momentarily so someone else can answer the phone before it rings an eighth time. They did answer the phone. So anyway, so basically, what I also posted was I personally have stood up when I've seen, when I've seen someone of color being, or when I've heard someone say something derogatory about someone of color, I've stood up and said, "Hey, that's not what you should be doing." I mean, I've stood up to that. I've physically stood up to a man one time who was, he was just being racist, and I had to stand in his face and say, "Listen, you need to back up, and you need to realize that everybody's a human being." Okay, yeah. Was I proud of myself? No, not necessarily, but I was happy that I did it. But there's also been a million times when I've watched racism, watched discrimination, and there's times when I've been discriminatory. I've discriminated because, and not so much, I don't think I've ever discriminated somebody by the color of their skin, but I have discriminated against people by their actions and what they do. And a lot of times, or how they look, not color, but how they dress. And that's discriminatory too, to a certain extent. I mean, obviously, businesses have the right to tell people what they want to be, what they want, how they want them to present themselves. And that's important to a business, that when they're dealing with clients. But, when you're doing an interview with somebody, do your interview. Just do the interview with somebody and then let them know what the rules are. And if they say they don't want to do it, then you say, well, then you don't have to have the job. As simple as that. Yeah, so that's what I posted that, and I had a lot of people. And so what I posted though was, and I posted it because I want people to keep me accountable. And that is, I don't want to anymore not stand up. I want to stand up, stand strong against racism, against discrimination. I want to stand up for those who can't stand up for themselves. And I want to stand up for those who have been maligned in their life. They've been told that they're nothing. And that's the farthest thing from the truth. Everybody is somebody, and everybody is worth something. We're all worth the same amount. And if you believe in God, you understand that He loves you. He loves everybody completely and equally. There's no, well, except for that guy over there because he's from Istanbul. No, that's not how it works, or he's from Alabama. Maybe I should say that. Well, no, I'm kidding. So basically, everybody has a certain amount of freedom that they need to exercise, and everyone has freedoms as long as you don't, you can do whatever you want in this country, they say. Well, that's not true, but you can do everything you want to do as long as it does not interfere or cause someone else, to be discouraged or to be felt like they're in danger of some sort. You can't infringe on someone else's rights because you want to do whatever you want to do. You got to follow the law. You got to follow the rules. And, sometimes it's tough beans for the person who doesn't like the loud music in the middle of the day. I think there should absolutely be something that you could talk to each other about. But, ultimately, I think you're straight when you're doing that. So, sorry, we're trying to, have a band practice or whatever it happens to be. You need to be able to have freedoms to do a lot of things that you, that everybody wants to do. So Tura and Tura. Okay, so Tura is talking about our 4:30 show. Our 4:30 show is going to have Christian Gaffney, and it's also going to have, well, maybe Naila Alam. Oh, he's very excited about 4:30 and the 4:45 guests today, Tura. Thank you, Tura, for that. thank you to her for all you do for the 4:30 show, arranging guests and whatnot. Yeah, so appreciate you, buddy. You know that. So basically, I made that appointment. I made that declaration in my email. I said, I'm standing with BLM, and I truly understand where they're coming from. And I think a lot of people don't understand. I'm a guy who floats from within culture to culture to culture. I have friends from lots of different cultures, and I try my best to learn how those cultures work. I mean, there's definitely a culture in the Black community that's awesome and loving and party and good times and food and all that kind of stuff, which is outstanding. And I participate with them all the time. One of my best friends, and I know that's, stupid to say when someone says, I'm not racist, my best friend's Black. Well, I truly do have one of my best friends. In his family, I'm part of their family. I mean, his mom calls me son, and his sister calls me, her stupid big brother or younger brother, whatever. We always kind of battle back and forth. But my buddy Mark, he's one of the best guys I've ever known in my life. He hasn't had the greatest life. He's gone through a lot of trials and tribulations, but he's ended up on the other side. And that's where he is now. I've known him through the trials and tribulations. And now where he is he's here and ready to work, ready to do whatever needs to be done. That's exciting. And I'm really proud of him for all the work he's put in. So, but I've lived in that culture with them, understanding what their likes and dislikes are, understanding, what their neighbors are thinking and doing, which is, similar to what anybody is thinking and doing. But there's definitely the cultures are different. And what I believe is that we ought to diversify big time. And after we diversify, at that point, we need to, I think you'll be successful. I think if you make a priority in diversity for your business, I think you'll be extremely successful. I know that More Joy Media, we haven't started hiring people yet, but when we do, I already have in mind who our crew is going to be, and it's going to be a very diverse crew, and I'm very proud of them. And when they show up to do a gig, people are going to say, you four don't look like you guys hang together. And they're going to say, we hang together all the time. It's the fun thing that we do. So, yeah, that's my plan with More Joy Media. And I hope that you guys out there that have small businesses or aspire to have small businesses will also take that lead in hiring people of diversity and people of color so that, they can make a life for themselves. And I appreciate that more than anything. So what else do I want to impart to my good friends out there watching and listening? Please remember to like and share. That would be great if you do that. I really appreciate it. I will really appreciate it. And make sure that you just, let people know this is our video blog. We do it 10:30 in the morning, every single morning. And we'll be a little bit more prepared next week or tomorrow, because tomorrow is Friday. This is Thursday. And lots of stuff lots of things are very exciting that are going on now that the phase 2, the governor has announced phase 2 here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And that's exciting because people can start to get out and mill around, and, still you want to still wear your mask when you're in close proximity to a lot of people. You want to make sure you wash your hands, of course. But I think that once we get these things open and the incidence, by the way, I just read that the incidence of people who've contracted the virus has gone down markedly. So, and of course, almost part of me wants to almost says, if you if you get the virus, then fight through it, get it done, and then you're immune to it. So that would be awesome. Phase 2 starts tomorrow, as Tora just alerted me, but I don't think there's anybody enforcing phase 2 if people were starting today. In fact, some places have been doing it, kind of bucking the system. And I haven't seen any enforcement as far as that's concerned. Maybe I'm just blind to it, but they took the risk. They got in there. They opened up their business, and now they are reaping the benefits of doing that. And come tomorrow, that'll be legal for them. So unless somebody comes and gives them a hard time today, writes them a ticket and whatever, they're going to come out of it unscathed. And, that's what they want to be able to do, I guess, right? All right, folks. So we're getting close to the end of our little program, but I want to bounce another thing off at you. Let's go to the good news and find out what's happening in the world as far as good news is going. Let me see here. What we've got is Good Samaritan. Let me see what this says. A Good Samaritans use CPR to revive baby deer found floating in the middle of a lake. So there's a little fawn that was found floating in the middle of a lake. They gave him CPR. They breathed into his mouth, and they, got his heart pumping again. That's exciting. A tree service comes to the rescue when a cat adopted during COVID gets stuck in a tree with thunderstorms on the way. So that's cool. A tree service came and helped out. And I don't know, maybe they were just local by doing tree work. A principal rallies his community to serve 10,000 cooked meals to seniors during 40 days of COVID crisis in India. So that's amazing to me. Now let's see what else is going on here. Let me see here. So it looks like Italy has done a good job of locking down Wow. Okay. So they've got a lot of stuff going on in Italy. Texas residents defend their local mall after looting is threatened. And they just hung out around the mall and made sure no one was going to loot. That's a good thing. And an anonymous donor gives $40,000 to Florida Cafe to help it stay open during the pandemic and feed hospital workers. There's a lot of businesses, folks, that are shutting down because of the pandemic. It's really sad, but it's what's happening. Let me see here. What else we got? A river running through Zion National Park will be protected forever thanks to the Nature Conservancy, and that's a good thing. All right, folks, that's enough of that kind of stuff. There's all kinds of stuff there that's exciting to read about, and it's very somebody built a hillbilly hot tub. They basically put a outboard motor into a big tub of water and turned it on. And anyway, that sounds fun. Statewide number is down from 685 to 324. Yep, Derek, thank you very much. COVID cases statewide, 685 to 324, and we're going to be down to zero pretty soon, I think. And but when we are, remember that something might just be latent, and it's going to rear its ugly head, maybe possibly for round 2. I hope not, but it's possible. Paul Gibbs, Scott Lawler, Derek Welch, Meg Southard, and Tora Arsala. Thank you for clicking on the like and share button, or the like button at least. I don't know who's sharing this program, but we'll definitely be a little bit more conscious of how we want to run this program in the future, and you guys are just the bomb. I appreciate you tuning in today. That's enough for me. I'm done. This has been Be Encouraged, and I hope you were encouraged today. Remember that God is great, and that you can do whatever you need to do to make your life better, and you can do that even more succinctly if there's any problems arise, but because there's a great omnipotent being who will help you. Okay, everybody, so that's it. We're at the end of the program. Have a blessed day.